saved my life.
Are you gonna pull those pistols and whistle Dixie?
Gordon Freeman saved my life. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Out in the streets of City 17, civil protection run a rigid machine. Break down my door, take me down to the station. They got ideas that I got information. My natural charm is only getting me so far. When out of the black, I see the shape of a crowbar. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Back for freedom with a brainstorm. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Like a Chuck Norris in a geek form. Completely silent, a violent creature. Despite looking like a geography teacher. Moves at the speed of a cheetah in its prime. Apparently he ain't running on valve time. I watch as the combine that turn into flea. They vanish into thin air like episode 3. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Back for freedom with a brainstorm. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Like a Chuck Norris in a geek form. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Back for freedom with a brainstorm. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Like a Chuck Norris in a geek form. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Back for freedom with a brainstorm. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Like a Chuck Norris in a geek form. Back for freedom with a brainstorm. Like a Chuck Norris in a geek form. Back for freedom with a brainstorm. Like a Chuck Norris in a geek form.
Good evening, everyone. Dark Vector, Giant the Little, how are you, my friend? I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Special edition of the show tonight. My good friend, Jiggy the Pooh, is going to join us, and we're going to tackle a tough subject in the streaming and gaming world, something that a lot of people wouldn't have the cojones to approach or talk about. And we're going to talk about racism in the streaming and gaming world. Hey, Texas, how are you? It unfortunately, is very, very prevalent in both. Invited Jiggy on board because, of course, he can share some of his experiences as, we watched him grow from a new live streamer into the powerhouse that he is today. Very proud of him for what he's accomplished. Very good friend of mine, most talented content creator I think I have encountered on any platform. Um, that goes, including myself. Um, Amazing what he's done. The things that he's done, the things that he has on his stream are just unbelievable. Um, just can't say enough good about the guy. We have met and spent time together in person. Um, just love the guy to death. Absolutely do. So I saw Texas in her stream the other night, looking through Rainbow Six Siege, looking at all the new operators. And I saw you talking about it was going to take you some time to figure out what all these new. I think you were looking at the attackers when I saw you. And I think you were talking about how it was going to take you some time to figure out what all these attackers do, what their abilities are, and so forth. Because the game has changed a little bit. Solus and I played it a little bit on PC recently, and yeah, it's changed. It's changed quite a bit. Some of their secondaries have changed. People that used to have flashes don't have flashes anymore. Some people, that used to have barbed wire, like Frost, who I usually run on defense, used to have that barbed wire. And I used to put, that used to be kind of my MO, is I would put Frost's traps out, and then I would put barbed wire on top of them. So they were harder to see. So when somebody came through a doorway, or if they were looking, at rappelling in a window or whatever, it was harder to see her trap because of that barbed wire on top of it. So I noticed they took that away and replaced it with like one of those barricade type things that are, essentially worthless, in my opinion. I mean, I guess if there's no other cover in the room, you can put it up and hide behind it, but you've got to be real careful not to, leave any part of you exposed, because, in Siege, you can get shot in the elbow and die. And those little barricades do not give a whole lot of cover as far as that goes. And, if you enter a room as an attacker, that barricade is the first thing that you're going to look at. Hey, what's up, Great One? How you doing, buddy? How are you, my friend? But yeah, Siege is it's kind of interesting how it's an evolving animal, right? I mean, it's been out for several years now, and it's interesting how they've continued to maintain their Achilles elbow. Yeah. It's interesting how they've continued to maintain their popularity the way they have, without coming out with a Rainbow Six Siege 2 and 3 and, so on and so forth. It's interesting that they've been able to stay one of the top, PvP games with just releasing new seasons, new maps, and new operators. And people don't seem to be getting bored with it like they do with, other games that have been out for a while. Yeah, Great One. I have not paid attention to the tournament at all. They've got a pool going at my work, and I didn't join it because I don't really follow college basketball at all. I follow college football because it's really the only football that I watch. I really don't watch the NFL anymore, and I follow college baseball. But basketball, dude, I know nothing about. I know absolutely nothing about. I'll probably pay attention. Are my Sooners even still in it? I mean, I'm an Oklahoma grad. I should pay attention to, my Sooners, but I haven't even done that. Blacktop, thank you for the follow, my friend. So we're just waiting on Jiggy to join us. I think he's. Oh, here we go. All right, just popped into the channel. Let's make sure we can hear him. Okay, here we go. My friend and the most talented content creator on any platform, Jiggy the Pooh. Thank you for joining us, my friend. Okay, I don't see his mic lighting up just yet. Maybe he's getting his mic together. All right, let's give him a few minutes. Let me check my settings and make sure that it's not me. Okay. Oh, U of H. Very nice. Guy says, Jiggy, talk, you beautiful human. There he is. There he is. Friggin' Discord, man. You gotta love it. I know. Mine does it all the time. And you know what's been weird about it for me lately is I have not changed anything, right? But I'll change it off of what I have it and then just put it right back where it was, and all of a sudden everything works. I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. All right, can everybody hear Jiggy okay? Type faster, people. He did talk, Guy. Okay, say something for me again. Okay. Now, I was changing settings because we couldn't hear you, thinking it might be me. Okay, again.
Yo, what it do?
That's it. Okay, there it is. I just had to do exactly what I was just talking about, change it off of where it was and back where it was. Okay, so he's a little bit low. Okay, well, I just turned him up. Let's try that again.
All right, testing.
Oh, he's in the yellow on my meter now, so I know you guys can hear him. I know you guys can hear him now. If I turned him up anymore, he'd be distorted. All right, that's got to be about right. Okay. All right, well, let's carry on. Once again, thank you for joining us, my friend. I appreciate it very, very much. Before you got here, I was telling everybody that we're going to talk about something that a lot of people are, afraid to talk about. And, it's an unfortunate truth in the gaming and streaming industry, but it's something that is real and exists, and we can't pretend that it doesn't anymore. I think we need to attack it head on, or we're never going to get rid of it. And that is racism in the gaming and streaming world.
Oh, yeah.
I talked a little bit about in my first episode, about, we both met each other over on Mixer, and, how, black streamers were discriminated against over there. And I talked about how, up on the carousel, what you would almost constantly see were young white faces almost all the time, every day.
Right.
Occasionally, there were, some black streamers featured if they were friends of staff, but not very often at all. And if you looked at a percentage, it would probably be less than 5% of the time that there was anything else up there but a young white face. So, because there were discrimination against older people too. And, a statement that I made in the first episode was, if you were both older and black, then you were really fucked. Because, because
yeah, that's true.
because Electric Panther was there for that show, and he said pretty much the same thing you did. He was like, "Man, you were done at that point," and because I mean, you were being discriminated against for two things, and I
Hmm.
mean, just really unfortunate. But anyway, I mean, thank God, the Mixer and all that's in the past. But one thing that I did want to talk to you about is since you've moved to Twitch, and one thing that I want to say right off the jump is, you and I are friends. It's a real friendship. Um, it's not, we didn't make an agreement to where, hey, I'll be your white friend if you be my black friend. It's not like that.
Ah.
I mean, we are we are really
Ah.
we are really true friends. We give each other shit all the time. We make fun of each other, and we don't agree on everything. Okay,
Nah,
we don't.
no, that's
And
true.
and we've met in real life. We spent time together in real life. So I just wanted to say that right off the jump.
Okay.
And while I have seen racism in people's streams, I have seen racism in games, game lobbies. It's not the same.
Right.
I'll never know what that really feels like. Okay, and I just want to acknowledge that right from the word go.
Okay.
Looking at the greater aspect of it all in the world today, I me, I hate racism. My heart goes out to everybody that's had to deal with that bullshit. But at the end of the day, I will never know what it's like to be black and get pulled over just because of what I look like and pulled out of my car and all that other horse shit that goes along with it. And, we focus on that a lot, but, what about after that happens to somebody? What if, the day before, what if it makes you late for work and the day before your boss said, hey, you're late one more time and you're fired, and then that happens to you?
Right.
What if you're late
Right.
for, something? What if you're having problems in your marriage and, your wife is suspicious about something and then you're late because of that? And then,
Right. It's pretty tough because I can talk about like being pulled over for like a stupid reason, and then ends up in total embarrassment. It's like, when I was younger, that's when I ran the streets a little bit more in the car, just to drive in Houston.
like any kid
And
does. Yeah.
yeah, so got pulled over, and got pulled over for not using the left turn signal. So that is a reason to get pulled. But yeah, I got pulled. Pulled in front of a Blockbuster Video, so kind of showing the age there. Pulled in front of a Blockbuster Video, and Blockbuster was popping back then.
Oh, dude, I
So
used to go every Friday. What are you talking about?
it was for Friday. I remember this day. It was a Friday too. Uh, Pulled in front of there, man, and him and his partner got out. Came to the, how they one goes on the passenger side and the other goes into the what you call it,
The drop.
driver's side.
Yeah,
And
trying to intimidate you. Yeah.
yeah. So, they told me why they pulled me over. I'm like, okay. But then he asked me for my license, and started doing a whole bunch of questions about my license. And I never encountered that before, like somebody, where you live, what's the number, address, trying to trip you up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I started kind of stuttering from that. And because I was kind of nervous, I'd never been asked those questions.
Well, of course you were nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started stuttering. They had a reason to pull me out because they said I was acting suspicious. So they pulled me out and continued the questioning. And then they said, you know what, we're just going to run your license and all that kind of stuff. And then they handcuffed me to the bumper. And they
Oh
said, we're
my
handcuffed
God.
you. Yeah, they handcuffed me to the bumper to say this so I wouldn't run away. That's what he told me. So as you can tell, the crowd in front of Blockbuster started getting bigger and bigger. Nobody's going inside the store.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it was a huge crowd, man. Like it was a car meet or something. And the partner kind of waves at him saying and shaking his head, saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? And they uncuffed me and just burn out. No, nothing. I couldn't ask any questions. They just burned out, man. That's the
You're
fastest
gonna pull those
I ever
pistols
seen
and
police
whistle
officers
Dixie.
burn out. So I told my mother about it, because at that time I did stay with my mother,
Mm-hmm.
and she was pissed off, man.
Well,
My
I'm
mother,
sure. Yeah.
she wanted to go to HPD and file reports and all that kind of stuff. But when we called my dad, because like I said, they were divorced, but they still talk. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They
Of
still
course. Yeah.
talk and they still raise both of us and everything. All me and my two sisters. My dad said, and he kind of had the final say on this, even though they're not they weren't married. He said, Gwen, just be happy John came home alive. Be happy about that. Let it go, because if you go and you report all that, he's going to be a target, and that's a lot of stuff that I learned from my dad, because my dad came up on those
Mm-hmm.
streets. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So my dad taught me a lot about the streets and stuff like that. But he said just let it go and just be happy that he came home alive. And I never understood that until now. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, I know. Unfortunately, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
So it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough, you
Uh,
know. But that's my little story about my little run in and being profiled.
I mean, your dad is absolutely right. I mean, just be thankful, thank God, that you came home. But by the same token, it's sad that you have to let it go and not, because those guys were out of line. Obviously, they were out of line.
Oh
But
yeah.
at the end of the day, unfortunately, with the way things are, your dad was right, and that was the right thing to do because you know
Ain't no telling what would have happened after we file reports and try to press charges. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean, every time you drove down the road, you would have been pulled over and harassed,
Yeah,
or whatever. I mean, it's a sad truth. So,
of course.
um, one thing I wanted to ask you is, we were talking about Mixer, and some things that I witnessed, and I'm not going to name a lot of names, but in other Black creator streams on Mixer, it was just unabated racism and bigotry over there. And I mean, we all know that it was a really trolly, toxic environment because it was a lot of Xbox kids where, the parents were using the Xbox as a babysitter and maybe they didn't know what their kids were doing. But,
Hmm.
at the end of the day, I mean, they're just showing what they've been taught. So a lot of the
Right.
blame does fall on the parents, I feel. But a lot of those chats and a lot of that stuff, I was just like, holy shit, how in the hell can anybody deal with this and want to come back and stream again?
Right. Um, I'm gonna just go and say this off the bat, okay? Uh, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I really do. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Mixer was a toxic ass place, man.
Oh, yeah.
It was very toxic.
You're preaching to the choir
And
here, brother.
and nobody really wants to acknowledge that. Nobody wants to acknowledge that Mixer was a terrible place. It was
Absolutely.
terrible. And see, I every time I stream on Mixer, I will at least get called the N word about once or twice every other stream. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and that's before I became partner. So when I became partner, it happened all the time. And then when I would become get featured and have a center feature,
Oh, my God.
man, it was my mods would spend most of the time banning people. Most of the time they just banning people. And everybody wants to talk so much shit about Twitch, man. Toxic Twitch. But I'm gonna say this. I have yet to be called the N word in Twitch. Maybe it's because I'm not big enough yet. I don't know, but I have not I have not gotten too many trolls on Twitch. Period.
Well, I'm glad you said that because that was going to be my next question. What your experience has been since you came over? Because that's something that we talked about in the first episode here was how toxic Mixer was, and everybody over there they were just brainwashed, right? Because everybody, oh, this is
Well,
such a great environment. Twitch is so toxic. No, it's not.
it's not. It's not, man. I've been on Twitch for probably what 10 months now, probably
Right?
9, 10 months, and I'm having the time of my life when it comes to streaming over here.
Dude,
Yeah,
you are
yeah, it's
doing
it's tough.
incredible.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks, man. It's tough. It's really tough. But you know what? I'm having fun doing it, and my chat isn't toxic like it used to be. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. Trust me, I know.
And people, here's the deal, man, and it's no secret. Okay, the thing is, when Mixer went down, okay, everybody named Mama knew I blew a fuse. And the reason I blew a fuse is because I had so much on my chest about Mixer and all the toxicness with Mixer, all the broken promises and all that kind of stuff, because as a partner, you don't know what these managers are telling you, because you're not, it's like NDA, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they it's a lot of broken promises, man. And, when it went down, it felt like I was defending a toxic place for years. And the problem is, I knew it was wrong, and I was still defending them because I wanted to get where I wanted to be on the platform. So you kind of ate a shit sandwich, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So it's my main thing is, by the time Mixer went down, I wanted everybody to know Mixer was a toxic ass place. And no, a lot of folks didn't want to believe it. A lot of people didn't want to accept it. But I knew for a fact, if I, Jiggy the Pooh, went off and spoke my truth, people would listen and believe me. And to be honest with you, like I said, when I did that, I lost a lot of support, but I think it was the support that I needed to lose anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because a lot of folks were like, "Man, how can you talk so bad about Mixer, man? I can't believe you went off on Mixer. Mixer is a good place. They called everybody slaves." And I'm sitting here like, you know, it's all good and dandy that you think that way. That's cool. I understand. But you don't know what it's like
Mm-mm.
to be a black man and be called a slave. You have no idea. So you being mad at me and calling Mixer out on his bullshit, was, it just blew me away. It really did. Because I really thought most of my community, which they did,
Mm-hmm.
most of my community stuck with me. Most of my community, the real writers, they stuck with me. They understood how I was feeling and why I was so upset, because they knew that I put all my heart and soul into my product and into my channel, and I never got what I was deserved, what I was owed. You know what I'm saying? I never got to that point on Mixer where what I was really owed.
Right.
And then when they come out with the meeting, that guy says what they called us, and you know what I'm saying. Everything came out. You finally understood why you never got that push. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You never understood why. I mean, but you finally understood why.
Oh, yeah.
And it just pissed me off big time.
Yeah, I mean,
I was
I
like,
had bounced at that point. If you remember, I left Mixer. I gave up my partnership voluntarily, and I left before all of that happened. And I was talking to you and other people about, man, you guys, you need to go. You need to get off there. It's not a good place.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people probably don't know, and I'll go ahead and say it now. When I say that, when I used to speak on it a lot when I first got to Twitch, I used to say, "Hey, man, people have been telling me to leave and let it go, Jiggy, start over." Mixer's a toxic place. Mixer's not right for you. Mixer's not going to push you to where you need to be and what you rightfully deserve. It was old Jen, people. Old Jen would been telling me that for over about a year before everything went down. He was telling me that about a year before everything went down. So, but me being me, wasn't listening. I was being hard headed, to be honest with you, folks.
Well, you
And
were always you were very polite about it, and you just said, I hear what you're saying. I had some people just flat out attack me for saying those things.
mhm.
Oh, you're toxic. You're just mad because you're not as big as you used to be. And all this kind of stuff, and then they would bring that up. And
Right.
I'll admit I wasn't as big as I was at that point, because I didn't fit the mold of what they were trying to be. I wasn't young, right? And I wasn't
Right.
a Fortnite streamer. So, and I'm not trying to, be, like, Jiggy. One thing I laugh about that you said to me at PAX South one day, I still laugh about it from now on. When I was telling you about the content creator badge at PAX, I was like, yeah, you need to get this because you get in. You said, so you just been walking around in here big dicking. So,
I remember that too. You was like, you need to do this, and he walking around with his media badge and walking right in. Oh shit, come right on in, man. Oh man, I'm glad you're here, man. Let me tell you about this, man. They were all just stroking him all kinds of ways, man. And I'm just sitting here like, I can't believe this guy. He's like, hey Jiggy, watch this, man. And he's just like, man, yeah, that's how you do it, man. And I'm like, wow, man. I couldn't
so,
believe what I was seeing, man.
so, I mean, I'm not trying to be big dicking right now, but before they had that changeover that I kind of talked about in the first episode when Porkchop left and different people took over the partnership department and they started partnering people that could, anything with a pulse basically.
Uh-huh.
And they, wanted a certain poster looking streamer, and before Fortnite and all that, before that happened, I was one of the biggest streamers on Mixer, right?
Right.
And then, when they kind of decided I wasn't the look of what they wanted anymore, it just kind of, I just kind of started going down because, I wasn't getting the features anymore. I wasn't getting, but anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. Um,
Hmm.
you know, our Ronnie was talking about a minute ago in the chat. He lives in Norway.
Okay.
And he said for him, hey, Brilliant Oak, what's up, my friend? He was talking about that in Norway, it's difficult for them to understand the racism and the police violence here in America. He
Well,
was saying they have a hard time understanding it because what he typed like a big paragraph in chat, and he was saying that over there that just doesn't even like enter their thought process at all.
that's just because America was built on that, man. It was just look. The thing is, a lot of people in different countries they really don't understand what goes on in the states. My cousin who likes to do a lot of traveling always preaches to me saying, "Jiggy, you need to get out of America and just go experience." This is before I got married. Okay.
Hmm.
Uh, you need to go experience different countries because gee, it's night and day. You're treated like kings in other countries, man,
Well,
and not like
there's a famous quote by Mark Twain that says the best cure for prejudice is travel.
yeah. That's what he said. I mean, that's not what he said. Well, you know what I meant. He said I needed to travel, man, and just and see that there are there's some good places out there, man. And I believe people when they say they just don't understand. You know, I really believe them because America was just was was built on that. It was really built on that.
Now, I will say that talking about gaming and game lobbies a little bit, it's it's not just an American problem because I have heard people from other countries. Like one of the most recent things that I encountered was it was in a Valorant lobby,
Mm.
and this guy had a really heavy French accent. So I've got to assume he was from France or maybe up in Canada,
Well, you can pull those
Montreal,
pistols and whistle
Quebec
Dixie.
area, something like that. Someplace French speaking. I said all that to say that.
Yeah.
He was from someplace
Right.
French speaking. And dude, I mean, somebody on our squad, somebody on our team just, I mean, they made a mistake, right? And they cost us that particular round. And he busts out with, well, you idiot. What the hell is your problem? You N-word. I mean, I was just like, dude, calm the fuck down.
Yeah, man.
And talking about it in game lobbies, I mean, it's just, I don't know how that is the go-to.
Word.
Yeah, because, you weren't even in that game, so let's be quiet. But he was in a game recently of Predator Hunting Grounds, and the Predator, after we killed him and disarmed him, and everybody escaped. We basically just humiliated this Predator. Every way you can beat a Predator, we beat him, right?
Right.
And he starts just yelling at all the fire team, calling us all N-words. We're like, dude, why is that the go-to thing?
Because it's they know it's supposed to intimidate, it's supposed to hurt your feelings, make you feel less than a human being. That's just what that word is supposed to do.
I mean, it's just so, such a lack of intelligence and a lack of vocabulary and just a lack of everything. That's just the things that go through my mind when, I hear that and, see people.
And that's the thing. That same guy that's saying that, or wherever your lobby you heard that from, they wouldn't say that in nobody's face, man. They wouldn't tell it to anybody's face.
No, because they don't have the balls to. No.
Oh, yeah.
No way. They don't have the balls to say that to somebody's face. Hell no, they don't. So, talking about, outside of streaming, in the game lobbies and things like that, I know, I have experienced it. And, it's whenever somebody sounds black, or maybe it kind of has a more of a, African American accent, people will bust out with that. And it just seems like there's just no accountability. I mean, a lot of games or, Xbox Live or whatever, you report these people. It just seems like nothing ever seems to happen.
Well, I know for a fact that my good friend Big Bad Worm, I've been knowing him since 2000, so been knowing him for 21 years. Every time somebody sent him a message that at least typed out the word, typed out the N word, they got suspended. I know for a fact. He would always send me the emails saying, "I got another one. I got another one. Got another one." It's like he gets off on them sending him those messages because
Yeah.
he knows he's going to get them banned. So I know for a fact that at least with Worm, that when he reports it, they actually do something about it. Now with everybody else, I wouldn't know. I don't know, but all I can speak is on is what I do know, and I
Mhm.
do know that he reports all the time, and he gets responses that, hey, we took action on this guy or whatever, and then he would go to their account and suspend it.
Okay. And we're talking about Twitch right now, right?
No, we were talking about Xbox Live.
Xbox Live. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what Solus is saying right now. The text messages, of course, are trackable. That's something they can prove. The voice chat, unfortunately, is not.
Right.
And, I don't know how we get to a place where, comments and things like that can be, recorded and submitted so action can be taken. But,
But don't they have? I really thought that they had something like that. I thought some folks actually got banned for party chat stuff.
Solus is saying there's too much bandwidth to record voice data.
And well, I wouldn't know. I'm saying I really thought that they did have something like that. I wouldn't know. I don't know.
Well, it's something that needs to happen because I mean, you know as well as I do, that's where the majority of of that stuff takes place. And Texas Dog Rescue you were talking about earlier. I mean, homophobia is just as rampant.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, those comments are just thrown out there
Hmm.
just as often,
I agree.
depending on the circumstance, if not more.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Oh yeah.
you know, Valorant. I'm going to go back to that again, and I guess any competitive game like that is a pretty toxic environment. I mean, Rainbow Six Siege is very very toxic,
Oh man. Yeah.
and Valorant is too. And I remember during the beta phase of Valorant, I was playing with this, and this kid got pissed off that I took his operator. So he called me, the F word, the homophobic slur. He
Right.
called me that probably 100 times in a 15-minute match before it was over. But it was, all voice chat. So shut up, Solus. So I really had no, proof of anything. I mean, I did take, like how you can use your NVIDIA recording deal. I mean, I did record some clips of it and send them to the email address I could find for Riot, but I mean, I never know what happened to it. But anyways, we've got to get to a place where there's some type of where you can record the last minute or the last 30 seconds or something and submit that.
Right.
There's
Have
got
some accountability, some form of fashion.
Yeah, we've got to get to a place where we can do that. Now, Ronnie was asking a second ago if you could ban people on Mixer. Oh boy, could you ban people on Mixer? And boy, did we.
Oh my god, man. Man. Man.
My ban list was probably 500 people long. I don't know about
I
yours, but
mine was about last time I checked before I said peace out to Mixer. It was about I think 350. It was like 350.
yeah, I mean, it was just I could it was difficult. I couldn't get through a stream without being called old and fat and bald and everything else. But you know, it, like you said, it was just a horribly, horribly toxic place.
Oh yeah.
Horribly toxic. Giant Little was talking about Siege a minute ago. He says that's why he won't play Siege, is just because of the toxicity. And I know I stopped streaming Siege just because it was too difficult to do it. I mean, just so toxic.
Talking about
Rainbow,
ranked or something?
Rainbow Six Siege, just in general.
Oh,
It was so hard to
gotcha.
stream that game. So hard to stream that game. Text.
Yeah, I streamed it a lot, but I was always in my own party. I didn't hear everybody else talk. Like in lobbies and stuff like that.
So, in talking about Twitch, Twitch definitely is better. In talking about how it is versus Mixer as far as racism and how you're treated by viewers and so forth. Um, there has historically been a problem with racism on Twitch, so much so that they even talk about it at length during the Twitch documentary that's on Amazon Prime. I mean, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's
Mhm.
about an hour and a half long. They got different people featured on there. I think Elohim is on there quite a bit. And, racism is one thing that they talk about and how it's historically been a problem. They finally got rid of, I forget what the emote was called, but it was of a black man, a black man's face. And they talk about how, people would go into black creators' streams and just spam that emote, right?
Really? Wow.
And like they talked about an event that they had, like they were covering a convention, right? And a black employee for Twitch, came on camera for a second, and for the few seconds he was on camera, just nonstop people spamming that emote.
Oh wow.
Um,
I
so
gotta watch that one. I haven't
so
seen that one.
yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. God, I forget what the name of it is, but somebody will Google it here in a minute and they'll tell us. But it's Twitch something, and they
Okay.
just talk about the challenges of being a content creator. Like I said, they've talked to Elheim quite a bit. They've talked to this young lady that uh, is an affiliate,
Mm-hmm.
and then she ends up getting partnered, and it's pretty interesting. I will say, and they
Well,
visit. Go ahead.
uh, yeah, I'm just speaking on Twitch. Mine before I went to Mixer, I was on Twitch for real briefly, and I didn't really get a lot of it. I got probably one or two, but I got the normal thing of trolls of new folks trying to start up. You know what I mean? It's like if you're trying to start up your stream, you tend to get a little bit more trolls to try to run you off. But from the most like from last year up to now, uh, when I see Twitch, I see them doing a lot of things. I really think they're trying. They're doing different stuff now. Putting black folks on uh, in Times Square on the billboards, and
Hmm.
really, trying to change the image.
And there's been a
Like I
lot more
said,
social media featuring a lot more black creators lately too, by Twitch.
right,
A whole lot
right,
more.
and that's what I'm saying is I'm thinking that they're trying. I got to give them that they're trying.
Hmm. Ronnie, again, who lives in Norway, he is saying that when he plays in game lobbies with Brits, this is you, guy on the mic. He says they call us the F word and foreigners because English is not our first language. He says Americans are much more polite. Okay, all right. So I like having an outside perspective like that, from a non-English speaking country, kind of telling us what it's kind of like on the outside. I think that's kind of cool. Thank you for that, Ronnie. Guy on the mic says, "I would never." Okay, well, Guy is a very nice, very very nice young man. Those of you
Oh
that
yeah.
don't know Guy, he's a very very nice young man. I give him a lot of shit, but he's one of my adopted internet kids, so I do.
He's cool, man. He cool.
Yeah, he is. Jack Little says that's sweet, but whatever. Hey, Snowman, what's up, my friend? How are you? Snowman's so far up there in Maine that he's basically in Canada, so we can say he's from another country too. But one other thing that I wanted to talk about, and it's something that we've talked about, in Discord offline, and that is the Facebook Black Content Creators Program. That is something that's been it's been around for what, about 6 months now, I think, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And so a lot of people left Twitch to be a part of that program because it was a man. I drank too much water too fast. It's a path to partnership over there on Facebook, and I haven't really, I don't know if people are doing well over there with it or not doing well over there with it, but speaking of things that we maybe not didn't absolutely agree 100% on, I just from my perspective, I guess if I was a black content creator, I guess I would find that insulting because in my mind, black content creators are just as talented, just as good at gamers, just as good at whatever as they're trying to do, that they don't need some kind of special program to get ahead or compete. That was my opinion on it. But I mean, you had a different
Mhm.
opinion.
Uh, Basically, a lot of folks have asked if I was going to go do that, uh, and my answer was always no. The reason why is because I'm more of an old school kind of guy. So when it comes to business, I'm very business minded. Mixer sold to Facebook. So my main thought was I don't want anything to do with Facebook because they were in bed with Mixer. So I was trying to get away from Mixer, period. So that was the first thing. So I was like, you know what? I'm staying away from there. I'm just gonna just continue to work my butt off and stay where I'm at. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But you got to understand. Um, I think two things. One, the main thing I think is that there are a lot of good, talented black creators out there that just haven't been given that opportunity or have not been seen yet. You know what I mean?
Oh, I agree with that
And
100%. Yeah.
so it's very hard for like part-time folks to get seen. So imagine if you can get seen doing full-time work and actually get some money in your pocket to get seen. I think it's a good thing for black creators. It really is, because we get passed over all the time, period. And there are several black creators who are part of that program that I still support today. And I still drop by from time to time. But on another note on that, I really felt that since they sold to Facebook, that I felt that it was a way to try to smooth things over, because they knew all the racism that was going down with Mixer. So I felt that they like, hey, let's just try to smooth things over and give something for black creators, because it was the racism was rampant on Mixer.
Hmm.
And you can still go to Mixer's tweets and see we were partnering up with Facebook and this Facebook that and all that. So they still, they didn't take down the tweets or anything. It's still part of Facebook. We sold to Facebook.
Hmm.
So it's still an entity in my eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't care what anybody says or what
Hey,
anybody tries to tell me.
hey, big
So
timer. Welcome, buddy.
so it's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. I felt that it's just a way just to smooth things over and give some talented black creators an opportunity, to give them an opportunity and let them work hard and do full-time work and actually get some money in their pocket to try to get seen.
Now, I, I,
Yeah.
I I understand that viewpoint because I've talked about before. You know, I've said this a couple times that trying to get your channel noticed is like trying to get people to notice one grain of sand on the beach,
Right.
or, one leaf on a tree in a forest. I mean, it really is that hard. So I get that. I mean, I understand that point of view totally. Definitely,
But,
definitely,
but
definitely
oh,
valid
I'm sorry.
points.
I see. Hey, what's up, big time? And I see Brilliant and Serial Velocity. He says Jiggy works too hard and creates so much content and don't need any help for a program like that. And see, that's here's the thing about that, man. Not everybody is not everybody has the talent to do that. No, not everybody has the ability to get these programs and get the equipment and learn how to do it. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that they don't deserve to be found and seen. There is it you know they deserve an opportunity. Me personally, yeah, in a way, I can I the way that I was raised, I can hold my own. I always try to figure out how to set myself apart from everybody else. So that's how I grew up, and that's what I brought to the streaming world. So that's why I always take it to the whole. I work 3 times as hard as my dad always said. Work 3 times as hard as the next man. So that's what I brought to the streaming world. How can I
Hmm.
get seen? So I did research. I did YouTube videos. I figure out what programs to buy. Learn these programs. Keep learning them. I'm still learning the program today for video editing. It's the same program that Disney uses.
Hmm.
So it's a bunch of work in there. But some people don't want to put in the work. Some people don't have the money to buy this stuff. So I think the program is like it's like a double edged sword, man. It's good and bad. It's just what it is. It's good and bad. But did I go over there and try to apply or whatever? No, I didn't. I didn't because I really felt that if I continue to work hard, I will get my opportunity one day. And I think I didn't want to take a slot or anything from anybody else that could truly used it. And then on top of that, I didn't have that. I don't have the. You got to be full time for that. Yeah, I think you got to put in like 100 plus hours a month to get that,
Which
to get the
is
stipend.
which is tough to do. Really tough
It
to do.
is.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. We're going to hear from Really Used Cars, and then we'll be right back. Hey, folks, get on down here to Really Used Cars. We got some low prices on some great vehicles we can get you in today. First up, we got a 1984 Mikhail Gorbachev edition Dacia. Now, this does have the Mikhail Gorbachev birthmark on the forehead. You know, that thing looks like a bird diarrhea right up here. That is embroidered on the headrest on the back of this vehicle. Very primo, very sought after feature right there, folks. Now, this car does have high miles, but it features speed holes. Now, those are not bullet holes, folks. Those are speed holes. Now, what does a speed hole do, you might ask? Well, you know how wind creates resistance against something solid? Well, what the speed holes do is they allow that wind to pass right through. And therefore, Shazam, super speed, folks. Super speed from the speed holes. Next up, we got a 1987 primo condition sport utility UAZ. As in, get UAZ down here and buy this car because it won't last long, folks. This car is in primo condition. It also has high miles. And we've discounted it so low, folks, because when it came in, for some reason, it had blood all over the seats and something in the back that might have been brain matter. We don't really know, but get your ass down here and get your ass in this car. Last but not least, it is the special of the day. We've got a 1979 powder blue hatchback. Now, this car has one owner. Now, you may not believe that, folks, but it was an old lady from Crystal Lake, New Jersey. This car has just had a new battery installed, and it was involved in some sort of accident called car carnage, which is why it's at such a low price. Now, this car has got balls, folks, and I do mean literal balls. We find a severed scrotum attached to the dash. But look at the price, folks, $799. You can't beat it. Get on down here to Really Used Cars. We're going to put you in a new ride today. Okay, and we're back. I meant to play that at the halfway point, and I was so into the conversation, I almost completely forgot about it. That whole "you car salesman" bit was something I used to do when I used to play Jiggy Bought the Car. That whole "you car salesman" bit was something I used to do all the time when I would stream PUBG, and I did that voice and the whole thing. I mean, you get bored playing PUBG all the time, right? So we would walk up to a car, and I would try to sell it to, the other 3 people on the team. So I came up with that little idea. What's the mile per gallon on the U.S.? Probably about 3, something like that. It's probably about 3. So anyway, all right. Back to being serious now. Thank you, Texas. I appreciate it. Back to being serious now. Let's see. Somebody remind me, where were we before we went to break? Oh, we were finishing talking about the Facebook Creator Program.
Right.
Hey, Noel, how are you doing, buddy? How are you, my friend? It's good to see you. Wifey says she may or may not have been the old lady in the car carnage. I know she was a few times, at least a few times. All right. So you were mentioning, your time is going to come on Twitch. I mean, I know for a fact it is. Man, I have watched you grow, rebuild your community. Since you've been over there to Twitch, you've carved out such a unique niche, and man, I am just beyond impressed with what you've done with everything. but
Well,
especially Monday Night VMR. I enjoy that so much. I can't even tell you.
well, here's the thing. When I got to Twitch, I'm gonna just tell you the story like this. The story here it is. I go live the first night on Twitch, and man, everybody named Mama was there, man, and everybody was, numbers were super high, man. I was like, man, I'm gonna be a partner in no time.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, it just kept dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. So I had to sit down and really think, okay, this is about to be a rebuild. And I'm sitting here like, why am I having the rebuild? So I'm sit here and I thought it out. I realized that, on Mixer it was like you said, streamers watching streamers.
Mm-hmm.
So I know for a fact I had a lot of streamers in the community, and they all went to go start their own thing. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's what your dream is to have your own channel and be a streamer, then damn it, go do that.
Yeah. Once
But for
everybody got
me,
affiliate, they just disappeared.
yeah, that's facts.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I had to sit down and really think. Okay, I'm in this big ocean, man. This is not a small pond anymore. What can I do to start to set myself apart again? And I decided to, my main show was to start letting folks in, because I know that I wanted to always do a show. I wanted to do it on Mixer, but I didn't because I didn't want to step on people's toes who I was close with. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't do it. But I was like, okay, Mixer's dead. So everything that I felt on Mixer and did on Mixer, I said was dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I went over to Twitch and I said, you know what? I'm gonna start letting these folks in, let them start just trying to figure out how it works. And then on top of that, I was like, okay, I got folks in. How can I set myself apart from all the other EFEDs? So it's like, you know what? Let me go ahead and actually make it a show instead of just doing matches. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I started doing a show. And then my buddy, Great One, he helped me a lot. He helped me a lot, try to get me to understand, the basics about EFEDs and stuff like that, and help me understand how to truly set up the show like a show. So a lot of good stuff from Great One, man. Great One helped me a lot. So I started doing promos, and I said, you know what? Instead of just reading what they say on the screen, why don't I do a improv where I'm just telling them what, saying what I want them to say, so it can all be about a show,
Mm-hmm.
a whole storyline. So that's how we got into that, and people started loving it, and I can't believe how much it took off. It's really popular.
Well, from a viewer standpoint, I mean, I'll just tell you, it makes you feel like you're a part of what's going on, right? I mean, you have done something that, TV and people in content creation have tried to accomplish for a long, long time, and that's break what they call, the fourth wall, where the viewer actually feels like they're a part of what's going on. And, you feel that way anyway, but then, when you actually have a wrestler in, the league or whatever you want to call it, you really feel like you're a part of what's going on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, we are pretty much at that 1 hour mark. That's those of you kind of new to the show. I try to keep it about an hour, hour and a half, because for a talk show podcast, that's about right. The show was just approved on Google Play podcast today. So the podcast version is available on Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Spotify. and we're still waiting on iTunes. So, yeah, you can find us there. And of course, you can also find us on YouTube. Thank you
said,
so
and best, oh, sorry. I'm sorry, man.
No. Go
Big
ahead.
Timer said, you and best believe someone is running with Jiggy's idea. What are you talking about?
He thinks you're going to have a copycat.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Ronnie. I appreciate that, buddy.
That's right.
It is an honor to have a wrestler on the show. Serial Velocity is right. It really is. You know, I'm hoping mine won't get his ass kicked next time he's on there, but, you know, by a midget.
Yeah.
But you can tell Panther I called him a midget too, because compared to my guy, he is a midget.
Hey, man, it's all about the show. I keep telling everybody it's all about the show, man. It's all about the show.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. All right. Well, thank you all for being here, Jiggy. Thank you so much for joining us and you know, providing such great insight. Appreciate you, man. Love you very much. That's going to do it, folks. Tomorrow night, same bat time, same bat channel, 8 p.m. Central. We're going to dig into the 6 days in Fallujah game controversy. We're going to drill down into that bad boy, and we'll talk about some other stuff too. But for now, it's good night and good tidings, and we will see you next time. Thanks so much, everybody.
I wanna make sound.